Hey everybody, welcome to the round 15 review. After the Blues get the job done at Marvel Stadium, 12 goals 9, 81 to the Fremantle Dockers, 7 goals 8, 50 in one of those games, one of those special games, good performances, litmus tests if you will, and we come out victorious comfortably in the end. And I think it was a full credit to the entire team. Just everyone really got involved in that in different ways, and that was one of the better days out at the football. Saturday afternoon time slot. We haven't had one like that for a while, if at all this season. It's a lot more easier to digest wins, especially on Saturday afternoon. It's a kid friendly time, and everyone got there, and it was loud. It wasn't like that the whole game. Give some credit to Fremantle. I actually thought it was a really high quality contest, especially early. Bit of an arm wrestle. I thought the Fremantle defense was superb. They're elite, and they've come into this game in form, in serious form. Not so different to the way Sydney came into the game when we played them a few weeks back, in form as well. And I just sensed from the early going, even though we didn't hit the scoreboard in the first quarter as much as what we would have wanted to, I just sensed that, number one, we were there. We were hunting. We were right in the contest, in the thick of it, playing a really hard, competitive, contested style. And, number two, limiting and mitigating the damage that Fremantle were putting on us. They obviously kicked the first, I think it was the first 3 goals of the game. And, I really did sense, even in that second quarter at the start, I sensed that if we just kept going, eventually the cracks would appear. You can only get the ball inside your 50 so many times without scoring. And I thought we just kept at it, stayed the task, and we broke the damn wall in the end. And once we got to half time, I was a little mindful of the response, and there was a response from Fremantle early in that third quarter. But again, we just stuck at it. I really didn't think we had too many patches of play today where I was disappointed, if at all. Because I gave a lot of credit to Fremantle and what they've been able to do and what they continue to be able to do. And yeah, I'm proud. I'm stoked with that. That was I think when the season's done and dusted, and we're in the off season, I really do think that'll be one of the better wins that we will have experienced for the year, notwithstanding finals football, hopefully. I think the wingers today, the story of the wingers has been a really interesting one. Cottrell, Noons, Lockie O'Brien. If we look at the start of the season, the rhetoric around the wing position is that it was a hole in our team and we hadn't got it right. We weren't sure what it was going to look like moving forward. There were some games and some patches there where it was a little inconsistent. Maybe we weren't utilising them well, or maybe they just weren't performing to the level that we needed them to. But there really seems to be, over the course of the last few weeks, even when we haven't been at our best, I think that wing position has really improved from what it was at the start of the season. And, when you get 5 goals from, those wingers, Lockie O'Brien and Noons and Cottrell, I know Cottrell played a little bit more of a, forward of centre role, but, those guys really stood out for me today, which was sensational. The stars were there. We asked the midfield throughout the week to respond. Even in a game that we had won over the last few weeks in Essendon, we probably still felt that the midfield just wasn't at its best. I personally just felt like it was a lull in the season, and I didn't sense there being anything diabolically wrong with the regime or anything that was going on. It's just one of those things. Nothing really moves linear. It's always going to have its peaks and its troughs. And the idea is to make sure that the troughs don't last too long. You just got to work your way through it. And I thought we did a fantastic job of doing that. The pieces are all there in the midfield, aside from Chera. But Chera's out. Someone else comes in. I thought Zach Fisher really stepped up in that regard today. And, just full credit to our midfield for not allowing what they had been allowing over the last few weeks with those, bulk defensive 50 entries for us and forward 50 entries for the opposition. We were tough at it. We played the alpha role really well today, I thought. I thought mentally Freo challenged us at certain times and, almost tried to get one up on us and bully us, but we just didn't let it happen. We got right into them, right in their face. Tom de Koning just throwing his body right at Sean Darcy, and It was good. It was a really good performance. The other element of us is, our forward line. When you've got Harry and Charlie in there, it's very unique. And we are one of very few teams in the competition that have two bona fide star tall forwards who would be the number one forward in any club in the competition. And I think it's a very unique thing that we do have. And you kind of know it's just a weight of numbers game. The more opportunities you can put the ball in advantageous positions for Harry and Charlie, more times than not, good things are going to happen for us because they just do such a good job of either bringing the ball to ground or marking the ball, hitting the scoreboard. We know that Marvel suits us a little bit more now than what it probably ever has with this group, which is remarkable, and it's an improvement in itself. We know that we like to possess the ball, handball, use the overlap run, and dry conditions really suit us a lot more than wet conditions, which, to be honest, is probably most teams. So that was great. I had a prime position for that. You talk about the defense as well. The conversations around who isn't there didn't seem to worry us today at all. The conversations around our injuries and our defense just being, holding on, and maybe we're going to need to use someone like Jack Silvani if things don't go our way. But you bring in Brody Kemp, you define the role really clearly as to what he's got to do and what all of them have to do. And I think we also get a real lift from Lewis Young, Sam Doherty, Adam Sarr. They've really elevated themselves in this period of when we've had a few issues down back. But to be honest, the system is really the takeaway for me. And it's important for the system to be tested. And the only way for it to truly be tested is when you've got people missing. And I think, even though we've had key pillars go down, the system has stood the test of time. We have not had 100 points or more kicked on us this season. And that's just full credit to everyone involved. The players for their commitment, the coaching staff for the game plan, for improving it. And, we spoke at the start of the year. We were listening to the rhetoric from the club at the start of the year around, what it looks like in round 1 is not going to be what it looks like in round 11. And, same goes for round 11 to round 23. And I'm starting to see us dig in and dig out of holes and just get wins on the board and continue to respond. It's been, so far, it's been a really good season. It's been really good to see the commitment, the buy-in, the unity, the role players just improving within what they're doing every week. You look at a guy like Sam Walsh, who's, one of the star names, and he was phenomenal today. On a side note, player of the game, really straightforward. Sam Walsh, lock it in, and throw the key away. And he really did lead from the front. But yeah, I've just got nothing but praise for the full complement that went out there today. A lot of youngsters out there. Jesse Motlop, I thought he hit the contest pretty hard, particularly early. Josh Honey had some moments as well. Corey Durden all of a sudden becomes the lead head of the small forward brigade. And, we're able to lock the ball in our forward half, in our forward third, and give ourselves the opportunity. And that was kind of what we called for. My preview was really straightforward. I really did feel like if we won the territory game and if the ball spent the majority of the game in our forward half, we didn't win the game. And it was just a really simple way to look at it. But in essence, it's kind of what happened. And, I come away from that game, I really celebrated that one. Just a really solid fist pump. Just to reinforce what I already believed. I've got a lot of belief in this group and what it's capable of. But just to get a win like that, sit there, experience it, and, manage the game as well. That's probably the other element that we're looking like we're improving on. The way that we manage games. And, not every time are you going to have the opportunity to just go hell for broke. And I thought we did a pretty good job of managing that. And when we needed to chew off 45 seconds, we did. We used the ball well in those situations. Those are situations in the past where we probably turned the ball over. But we're really starting to show some solidarity down there. And, what are you going to say? It's great. It's so good to be amongst it. It's so good to be relevant. Get this, guys. Get this. I had noticed something this week which was fascinating to me. Now, Fremantle, they like to think that there's some rivalry between us and them because, we've had a few close wins against them in the past. Mate, they're clutching at straws. They're not relevant to the Carlton Football Club. There is no rivalry, okay? You're not that guy, Fremantle. They're just not. They're not those people. I saw comments all week about Flagmantle, in my DMs, random Fremantle supporters letting me know that, you know, it wasn't going to happen for us this week and that Freo were the real deal and that we're pretenders. And I just sort of sat back and I watched it unfold and I was pretty confident that we were going to win the game. You know, it's all good to win in Perth when you get to sleep in your own bed and get tucked in and your parents read your bedtime stories. But you've got to come and win finals in Melbourne, and that's where you win a flag. So fair play to Fremantle and their fans. They said flag mantle. We said no. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles. It was a good win, good performance. And, you know, we're in this part of the season where it can get a little testy at times. And I know we're coming up against probably better opposition in this patch than what we have to some degree in the early parts of the season. And ultimately, it's making us better when we play against these good sides. We play against better sides, and it looks like, you know, I'm removing myself away from this mentality of, danger game and all of that, because I've just got belief in what I'm seeing. And it was validated today, and I'm a happy Carlton supporter. And, I'm just enjoying it for every single moment that it is. And, you know, this is the year, I think we can safely say, this is the year of the turning point for this group. And, you know, it's flying by really quickly. I'm super grateful to be right here when it's turned. And I just look forward to seeing, you know, what's to come, you know, because there are some serious challenges along the way and we've got some more growth to come. And, you know, it is what it is. We're up and about. It's a good win. What about you? How did you see that game? Where'd you watch it from? What were some of your observations? And maybe those who were a part of the fan cams or who weren't a part of the fan cams, what are some of the themes and issues that this game brings to your mind when you think about what's to come for the year ahead? Let us know in the comments. Enjoy the win. I know I will. And as always, go the Mighty Blues.